What's up, everybody?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello, this is Steve from Steve's Thoughts and Nerd Talk. Coming to you live today. Live, I tell you. We got some new and exciting things to talk about
Yes.
on this co-stream, this two-player stream here.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about the box office. First things first, we're going to brush up on the box office regarding Barbie, Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Has the box office finally woken up
Oh,
to,
yes.
to a lot of things
Yeah.
other than your typical generic
Yeah,
whatever
box
we've been having lately with the
Box office was great this past weekend. It was incredible. Barbie was a fantastic movie. I love Barbie.
Wait,
It was really, really great.
You said has or was? Had or was? Which one
Was this past weekend. It was great.
Was,
I mean,
okay.
the box office was great. Barbie was a fantastic movie. I loved it. It was great. I love Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is also incredible. Oppenheimer was a real masterpiece. And I did the right thing. I did the smart
Is
thing.
it Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer, yeah.
Okay.
And I did the smart thing. I saw Barbie first, and then I went to see Oppenheimer because seeing a really dark, depressing film like Oppenheimer, that's very melancholy and very dark, and very depressing, and very intense. And then going from there to see Barbie, which is total whiplash.
Wait.
It's so weird because Barbie is so uplifting and so happy and so joyful, and it's like the complete. Both movies are very different and are the complete opposite.
If you are familiar with Mattel, the parent company of Barbie as a brand franchise, you're familiar with the dolls in a box that come with a dress, hair, color, shoes,
Barbie and
accessories,
Ken.
stuff.
But I'm not.
Are those just, I won't say a factual statement, but I believe I read something along the lines that Barbie and Ken are technically related. I could be wrong.
No, they're not. They're not related. In the movie, Barbie and Ken are two different dolls.
No. I mean historically in the franchise. Originally, they were supposed to be related.
Well, I guess so, but they're actually no. I think originally they're boyfriend girlfriend. I think that's what was the intent. But anyways, that movie Barbie was great. I saw that movie first at 7:15 p.m. It was 2 hours long, and I went to see Oppenheimer at 11:30.
Question.
So let me finish.
Okay.
So I went to see Barbie. I was done with that by 9:30. I went to get something to eat, and then I came back to see Oppenheimer at 11:30, which is 3 hours long. That movie didn't get started until like 11:50 p.m. because of trailers, and so that movie is exactly 3 hours long. It was over by 2:50 a.m. And that movie was just incredible. It was great. It was basically 5 hours of film that I saw, and I was exhausted, but I had a great night because both movies were incredible and fundamentally different. Barbie had a huge opening weekend of $155 million, and Oppenheimer had a huge opening weekend of $80 million. And Oppenheimer is the biggest opening weekend for a film that's original, that's not based on an existing IP or franchise. It's actually just a drama, a period piece, takes place in the mid 20th century, and the film costs $125 million to make. And the film is a huge success. And the second weekend is also going to be big for both movies as well.
Well, I want to say word of mouth does have a factor to play in that.
Oh,
for a variety of reasons.
I got the actual numbers. Barbie had an opening weekend of $162 million, and Oppenheimer had an opening weekend of $82 million. And the total box office for the whole weekend for all movies was $307 million. It's the fourth highest grossing weekend at the domestic box office in the domestic box office history in North America. So it was a huge weekend. But sadly, I wanted to mention, because of the SAG strike, a lot of big budget movies are probably going to get delayed into the next year, like Wonka, Aquaman 2, Dune Part 2, which really annoys the shit out of me, but it's the way it is because I love Dune. The Dune book is great. I love Dune Part 1. I want to see Dune Part 2, but it could be delayed because of the actors strike, the SAG strike. And these Dune movies are just freaking cursed. These Dune movies are just like freaking cursed for some reason.
I believe
like it took almost 2 decades to get the first movie off the ground by David Lynch. That movie sucked, and then it just kind of went away until it came back as a limited series, which was successful enough to get children to do. And then Warner Brothers tried to do a movie, and that took almost 20 years to get that movie made. And it finally came out, and then it got delayed because of COVID. It turned out to be a success still. Then they did Dune Part 2, which is made, it's in the bag, but now that's probably going to get delayed too. It's like life just gets into the way of these movies. It's like these movies it's like Dune just can't catch a fucking break, and I don't know why.
I don't think Dune will catch a break. I want to mention this. Regarding Dune, I believe I saw, I'm not sure if I saw it on Xbox or on Steam, I believe it was on Steam, that there's a Dune game or something like that.
shoot down your own recording.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Spice Wars. That came out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it came out recently.
I think so. No, my recording's still up. It's just I minimized
Oh,
the
great.
window.
wait. What about Dune Awakening? Go back to that one.
So we're taking a look over here. So Doom Spice Wars.
Yeah, I know Spice Wars has been
It
out.
was released April 26,
There's a new Dune
2022.
game that's coming out sometime next year.
It's what's it called? Dune
Awakening. That's the one.
Awakening, okay.
It has to be the one. Go there.
Use the old cheat.
Yeah. That's like an open world.
It's to be announced.
Yeah, it's an open world game. It's an open world Dune game. I saw the trailers at the Game Awards and other spots as well.
I need a new computer because I want to be able to run these things and well.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that hopefully Warner Brothers will not delay Dune Part 2 because even though they want the actors to promote their movies, there's a generation of fans of Dune and people who love Dune Part 1 that really want to see Dune Part 2. And the film is shot in IMAX, the IMAX format. People really want to see it, and so.
So I want to ask because you did touch up on Barbie, and we know Barbie's the beautiful lovable doll in the box for young individuals that have an interest in the doll.
Yeah.
Now, Barbie, the setting, story, all of it. Can you explain to us? Was it positive, uplifting? Was it in a way kind of preachy? In a
Oh, it was
way?
preachy, but it was preachy in a way where it was believable because the speech that America Ferrera gives, spoilers, I'm not getting into detail about, but her speech resonated with a lot of female viewers in that theater and in other theaters as well. Women are judged differently in life from men in many parts of the workforce and in other parts of the world as well. So, I was able to relate to that, connect to that, and a lot of women were, and I thought it was great. And yeah, America Ferrera gives a great performance. Ryan Gosling is great. Margot Robbie is great. And I just don't understand how men could be offended by this movie, and it's really hypocritical because so many women have been forced to watch male-centric movies, and the minute a movie by a woman for women gets made, all of a sudden you want to get up in arms, and it's just ridiculous and it's hypocritical. The film was made by a woman for women, and the film was a box office hit because it was marketed brilliantly towards a huge female audience, which is the majority of the American audience, majority of the world audience, and it's a huge box office hit. And it was a very positive, very uplifting movie, and it was great. Okay. And it was amazing. And Oppenheimer is more of a male-centric film, and that movie was also a huge success. So both movies, because of this Barbenheimer marketing that people on social media were doing, it was like it lifted both movies, and both movies were successful because of this Barbenheimer movement where people were getting tickets for both movies. A ticket for Barbie, you got a ticket for Oppenheimer. You got a ticket for Oppenheimer, you got a ticket for Barbie. I saw both movies in one night. And I was not the only one. When I went to see Oppenheimer, there were a lot of people who had already seen the movie that were dressed up in mid-century 1940s and 50s clothing. And there were also a lot of people dressed up in pink to see the movie in IMAX. So they just left the Barbie showing and just went right to Oppenheimer. It was great. I loved it.
So would you say that the Oppenheimer film was a documentary based? Was more of a?
It's a biographical film.
Okay, so
it's a biographical film.
Okay,
so it's not a documentary. It's a biographical film about J. Oppenheimer,
J. Robert
Oppenheimer, who did the development of the nuclear bomb. Like it was already being worked on, developed by previous scientists. He just finished the process of it and got it to the finish line.
He was
and developed the nuclear bomb.
He wasn't a physicist.
He was a physicist.
Okay.
And he did theories as well. He was a theorist. He did everything, and he was brilliant. And he was friends with Einstein. And Cillian Murphy's performance was great. Emily Blunt was great. Robert Downey Jr. is amazing. He stole the entire movie. I think Robert Downey Jr. might win his first Oscar for this film. He was incredible. I think he might get it. I think he might win it this time. He's a lock. And if these movies, a lot of them get delayed, the only real competition that Oppenheimer will have for the Oscars during the Oscar season, I think, will be Killers of the Flower Moon, which I've also heard is amazing. I heard it's a great film by Martin Scorsese. That movie's coming out in October, and so that would be its only competition. Okay. I mean, Barbie, I don't see winning Best Picture. It could get nominated for a lot of Oscars. It got great reviews.
Maybe
I don't see it winning Best Picture. I think, Best Costume Design, absolutely. Best Art Direction, Best Hair and Makeup, it could win all of that. But I think Oppenheimer would be the best picture and best director frontrunner, with Killers of the Flower Moon also being kind of a frontrunner for Scorsese.
Okay, so not to move the conversation, but we're gonna get into the main.
Yeah, I'm done talking
main-
about those movies. It was a great night. Barbenheimer was crazy. I saw both movies in one night with so many people that did the same thing. And this was a rare type of weekend at the box office that might not be recreated ever again. But I do feel bad for Mission Impossible 7. That movie is really underperforming. It was a great film. I feel bad for Tom Cruise because that movie was also great. It deserved a better release.
Would you say it's kind of being
It got completely
buried,
sandwiched.
It's kind of being buried under between
Yeah,
Barbie. Okay.
it got completely sandwiched. Mission Impossible 7 should have been released in late August. It should have had a late August release. Paramount completely fucked that movie by accident. But really,
when do they not?
well, I mean, they had no idea that Barbie and Oppenheimer would get an equal amount of promotion from people on social media and from the actors of both movies. Like, actors who were promoting Oppenheimer were telling people to also go see Barbie, and actors for Barbie were telling people to go see Oppenheimer. Nobody was expecting that. Nobody. It came completely out of nowhere, and it totally fucked Mission Impossible 7.
Okay, so the main creme de la creme, well, the main creme de la creme filet mignon is gonna be. We're talking about Armored Core 6 now.
Armored Core 6 looks incredible. I've watched all the videos from all the From Software YouTube channels, like Fighting Cowboy, who's been around for more than 10 years. Vati was great as well. His video breakdown on the video game. He also released a whole 20-minute video on Armored Core 6 gameplay. And Lore Hunter, the Lore Hunter showed
Yes,
60-minute
Lore,
video.
yes.
That was great too.
I'm glad Lore Hunter covered it because Lore Hunter does a nice job of being able to inform and break down and explain a lot of things.
Yeah, and Lore Hunter is a Souls fan that is telling Souls fans that Armored Core 6 is not a Souls game. It's very much an Armored Core 6 game, but it does draw influences from the Souls games.
Oh, speaking of that, we were discussing this. We were discussing this not before the stream, but we were discussing this through message.
Yeah.
The impressions that you have, that I have, that we are aware of when it comes to Armored Core. Armored Core was originally, and if I'm
It's a mech game.
It's a mech arcade shooter.
Yeah.
It's in a nutshell. It's a mech arcade
what
shooter.
it is.
Think Gundam against a bunch of enemies. That are
And
not-
and
that are not
also
PvP.
and it didn't have like an aiming lock-on system until this new game, because it was like a manual lock-on. You had to do it manually. If you didn't do it, your missiles and your bullets are going to be flying all over the place.
Real
So
good.
you had to do it. You had to do it. You had to do it on your own. But I'll say this: I played Armored Core 1 back in 1999 when I was 12 years old on my old PS1. It was a lot of fun. I never beat the game. It was very difficult because From Software games are very difficult. And I didn't know that was like From Software's reputation 20 years ago. And I basically have been playing Armored Core From Software games for a long time. But I'm more familiar with From Software Souls and Souls-like games, and that's what I'm more into. I played Sekiro, which I beat 2 years ago. It's a fantastic game. I've been playing Dark Souls 1. I beat Elden Ring, which is also a great game. I'm playing it again. And so as I was looking at Armored Core 6 and seeing people playing it in the previews, it did look familiar. There was a posture gauge like Sekiro. There's a sword that you could use. If you break your enemy's posture, you could get free extra hits and then kill them. There's an automatic lock-on system. So there were some similarities to Soulsborne and Souls-like games from Software, but it's not a Souls game. It's very much Armored Core, but it's very much a major upgrade to the series. This feels more like a reboot with a new story and getting new fans into the series.
I wouldn't say it's a reboot.
It feels like a reboot.
It looks.
It's definitely not a
I
sequel.
wouldn't say it's a reboot. It looks more of a rather than following storyline 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's more like 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think 5 was canonically typed.
No, it's a
the
new
others.
story. That's why
It's a new story.
Yeah.
You're off of the main planet. Yeah. You're on a new planet. You're to deal with enemies. Typical Armored Core.
Oh, and also like Souls
however, when it comes to Armored Core, playing 1, 2, 3, 4, I did not play 5 because of the fact that I was focused with other things, other games at that time. Also, Armored Core 5 reminded me of End War, and it's a shame that Ubisoft did not continue that game. That was that's another video. When it comes to Souls, I played Demon Souls? Dark Souls 1 and 2. I didn't get to play 3 because I wasn't able to get a copy of it, and I was playing other things.
And also the
combat, yes, it's evolved greatly would be the correct way to say it. It's not that it's upgraded; it's more of an evolution to the combat.
Yeah.
You have a lock on now, so now if you're within enemy sight or range within whatever weapon you're using, you'll lock onto them. So no longer is the days of manually shooting a railgun at the enemy going to be still with us.
And the story draws a lot of similarities to Souls, like all the Souls games and Souls like from Software, where at the beginning of the game you start off basically half dead.
No,
You're going to land on a planet. The people on that planet don't want you to come to their planet, don't want you to be there. So they shoot you out of space. You land on the planet and you're badly damaged.
So
It actually, the opening of the game reminded me a lot of Elden Ring. It reminded me of the opening to the story of Sekiro. You're basically half dead and you have to start from the ground up. And so that was really cool.
So I want to say, when it comes to Armored Core 6, yes, there are elements that are from just looking at the videos, from looking at the gameplay, from looking at everything that's being released and shown, that are not common within the Armored Core game. So the posture gauge was actually a nice touch because now you don't have to fly in circles repeatedly to kill an enemy boss. All you need to do is break the gauge,
And then use your sword and slice.
Yes, and so
And when you die,
the posture gauge with the sword or the melee is a nice touch because it does give a new manner of combat of being able to play against enemies, bosses. So no longer you'll have to fly around circles or keep going around and shooting them.
And when
now you have to time it accordingly.
And when you die, you can upgrade your mecha at any point when you die. You can add in new weapons. You can add in bazookas. You can add in a sword or something else. So dying is really very much part of the game, like in every From Software game. But it rewards you when you die because you can figure out on what you can equip during your next try through. And there's also checkpoints. So when you die, you could just start immediately all over again with everything from where you left off.
Yeah, no, we don't have to start the whole mission all over again because we died. Thank God.
That's great.
However, the fact that they added the customization after death is much nicer than having to go to your hangar, start a mission, quit the mission, go to your hangar. It saves a lot of time from that because I know a couple things were wrong with that issue, having to repeatedly leave the mission or get into the hangar to do something, to select a mission, to get into the hangar to launch, and then go back into the mission. There's a lot of confusion in there. However, the combat is actually going to be a nice touch. I've seen how a lot of it is going.
Yeah.
I want to say it's not that it's
it's a reboot, though. In many ways, it's a reboot. It's really a reboot.
Plays sort of like
because it's a reboot because From Software, the game director of the game, he said it's a new story, different planet, it's new mechanics, but the same mechanic, and so it's really a reboot. It's a game that's made to get a new fan so they can make sequels, and the director of the game does want to make sequels. And the reason why it draws so much similarities to what From Software has done in the last 14 years is because of Hidetaka Miyazaki. He is the head of From Software. He's the president. He is the main guy now. He is the genius that made From Software a AAA gaming force. And so the people that work under him are going to use
the resources, what is available. Yeah. What is available to them throughout the previous titles, projects, as well as what they're developing in the pipeline.
The people who have worked under Hidetaka Miyazaki are going to use what he taught them. So, of course, Armored Core 6 is going to draw similarities and parallels to previous games that Miyazaki has made because this guy's won multiple Game of the Year. Elden Ring is going to sell 30 million copies. And I mean, the guy's a huge success for From Software. And, so whoever worked under him is going to borrow what he's done.
So not only that, but Armored Core 6 is one of the most promising upcoming titles that I have seen thus far. That really draws my attention, aside from Baldur's Gate 3, and I want to do a video on Baldur's Gate 3 another time, because a lot of game developers, a lot of publishers, a lot of studios, a lot of game developing studios are saying, don't use Baldur's Gate 3 as the model to look forward to games, when that should be the model, not per se exactly.
Yeah, the game director is Masaru Yamamura, and
Masaru Yamamura.
Yeah, he is the game director of Armored Core 6.
Producer of Yasunori Ogura. Well, technically, you would say the last name first, the first name last.
Yeah, Masaru Yamamura is the game director and producer of Armored Core 6, and he's the game director of Armored Core 6 and a writer. But he did the quest design for Sekiro. And what else did he do the quest design of?
Sekiro, I believe. We're going to use our trusty world of the internet where we look for this stuff. Yamamori.
I think I can look up his LinkedIn.
Well, it's strange because it's providing me with something completely unrelated. So,
Yeah, yeah. Just have an Armored Core 6 game director.
oh, okay. There we go. Mamoru Maramatsu. Right?
Yeah. Is that him? No, that's different. That's a different name.
This is someone else.
Yeah.
My apologies. We found the wrong person.
I'm going to his LinkedIn. I think he's up here. So
This
he's not on LinkedIn.
yes, he is.
Oh, he is? Well, I know he's done the quest design for Sekiro, and I don't know if he worked on Dark Souls 3 or not, or if he worked on. I don't think he worked on Elden Ring, or maybe he did.
Oh well, I'm gonna close this because we're killing some time looking for his feats.
I'm going on Wikipedia. Let's see here.
What did he do? Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
No, so that was his debut, Sekiro.
Okay.
So that was his first game. So his debut was he became a game director on Armored Core 6 because of his role being a lead game designer on Sekiro. And he was a lead game designer on Sekiro. I think he also did some of the quests as well. So he took over from Miyazaki because Miyazaki was busy with Elden Ring. And Miyazaki is currently busy with the DLC for Elden Ring, which is probably going to be a massive DLC, which was already being worked on after Elden Ring came out. A lot of people are saying that they were not expecting Elden Ring to be such a huge success, and that's why they're working on it a lot longer. I don't think that's the case. They were surprised by the huge success of Elden Ring, but the DLC, the story expansion for Elden Ring was already going to be big because it's a massive open world, and they're designing a whole new other world where I think you could fly with Torrent, you could fly with him, and you're going to be meeting Mikola, who is the brother of Melania.
Melania?
Yeah,
Melania.
Yeah.
Melania. One or the other.
Melania. So Mikola is Mikola is the brother of Melania, and you're going to go to this different world where Mikola is because Mikola is unconscious. So his consciousness is in a different world, and that world is also going to be really, really massive. It's going to be really big, and they say you're going to be flying with Tori. You're not just going to be riding on the ground. You're going to fly with Tori. There's going to be new bosses. There's going to be new main bosses, new weapons, new armor, new things to put in your flasks, all new types of shit.
There's going to be a lot more content available, is what he's trying to say without trying to say
hopefully it will come out in November or December. It's supposed to come out very shortly after Armored Core 6. But right now, all the marketing and promotions are Armored Core 6. So after Armored Core 6 comes out,
because you want to sell
the game,
product.
yeah.
You want to be able to move units and make that money back.
And the marketing has been through the roof for the last week. It's been through the roof.
Oh,
but
have you seen the new trailer?
Of Armored Core 6? Yeah, it was great. I loved it. The story trailer was so depressing. I loved it. It was so sad. It was so tragic. I felt the emotion. I felt the sacrifice that the person in the mecha had to do to complete the mission, and he completed the mission. It was so great. I love it.
I have a question. Western game developers, why is it you can't get people to write games like that? What is keeping you back? What is...
Well, they are. I mean, the Western game developers are making a lot of good or great games. It's just...
They're making very mediocre quests and stuff. Like,
well, no, the fetch quests have not redundant. But Japanese are guilty of that too. The side quests...
They're guilty of it?
They're guilty of the same thing. The side quests for Final Fantasy 16 are dog shit. They're completely boring. It's the same shit. It's the same fetch quest in every single scene. It's just that Final Fantasy 16's main story and the combat, the gameplay, and the graphics are beautiful. So I can ignore how redundant and terrible the side quests are.
Oh, I enjoy them.
But they're completely tedious. I mean,
when it comes to RPGs, I will do the same quest. Find me my dog. Oh, did you find my dog's leash? Did you find the key that goes to the door?
It's such a boring side quest. The side quests are absolutely terrible. They're the worst part of Final Fantasy 16.
Okay, anyways, we're moving off topic here. So we're going to move on.
But I want to say that when Armored Core 6 comes out, when they're done with the DLC story expansion of Elden Ring, they're going to move on to the next game, which is Spellbound, which is another open world AAA game from Software, from Hidetaka Miyazaki. And hopefully, in the middle of all that, they'll finally release the PC version of Bloodborne.
I don't know if that's gonna come out, but we can only hope. Hoping Bloodborne 2 will be announced. I'm kind of tired of getting my ass whooped over and over on UK plus.
Bloodborne 2 is not getting made, but Bloodborne PC is being worked on. We've seen different leaks. They just haven't done any announcements yet. I think they want to do the announcement sometime next year because 2025 is the 10-year anniversary for Bloodborne, and that's why they want to do that.
Okay, anyways, we're going to move on to our final little tidbit. The Call of Duty servers from the old games.
Yes.
Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2.
It's going to be great.
Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops. Those servers are up and running. They've been fixed. They're on Xbox. You can load into them and play them. Albeit, you'll go into your Xbox 360 account, you'll find all your classes and everything still there, untouched, or just as you left it. And this is actually great because I was playing Modern Warfare 3 with some people, and I forgot how I had my controller schematic. So it's normally aim in your flashbang. It's just flip these.
Yeah.
So aim, flashbang, lethal, shoot. This side, and then this is your non-lethal.
Yeah.
Just the aim. So it was actually a lot of fun being able to play it. I was running around throwing knives. It's a lot of fun. So either today or tomorrow, I'm gonna hop onto Modern Warfare 2, old OG Modern Warfare 2. I wonder if I'm gonna still find people cursing each other out.
When I get more money on Thursday, I'm going to buy Modern Warfare 4 and Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 in 2009 is so much better than the new Modern Warfare. And it's not a surprise that those games are outselling the new games. Those games are outselling because those were the best Call of Duty games ever created.
Those are the games that made Call of Duty to a peak of what Call of Duty was.
Those were the games that made Call of Duty the powerhouse that it ended up becoming, and forced other competitors to try and change for no reason. Like Halo did not need to change to be like Call of Duty.
No.
But the reason that Microsoft felt that way is because Call of Duty was outselling everybody. By 2009, Call of Duty was numero uno because of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So when I get more money in on Thursday, I'm going to buy Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 and Modern Warfare 2, and I'm going to play Modern Warfare 2. I'm going to play that campaign. I haven't played that game since 2009. It's going to be a nostalgia trip, and I am just going to play the multiplayer, and I'm going to whoop ass like I used to. I'm going to whoop ass like I used to.
I can't wait to get back on Modern Warfare 2. I have it. I just need to find it on my game case, my game library. Physical media, guys. Physical media. Always keep it.
Physical media is making a comeback because all these streaming services are taking stuff off their streaming services to save money, to save millions. And now Babylon 5 is coming out. It's remastered in Blu-ray. It's $150 on Best Buy and Amazon. It's coming out this December. I think December the 4th or the 5th. I pre-ordered it. It's going to be so great, so incredible. I do not love the cover because the Babylon 5 space station is not on the cover, and it's called Babylon 5. Makes no fucking sense. I don't get why they went with the cover that they went.
That's an art issue.
I don't know why they went with the cover. I don't know why they went with that cover, but they should have had Babylon 5, the space station, on the cover. But because physical media is slowly making a comeback, Babylon 5 Blu-ray was the number one selling product on Amazon for 2 days. It was number one for 2 days. It was being pre-ordered like hotcakes, including me. I've also pre-ordered it. I'm going to look up what day it comes out just to let y'all know.
He pre-ordered the most expensive edition and the regular version.
No. It's just one edition, which is $150. But I also pre-ordered the new Babylon 5 movie, which has got great reviews from Babylon 5 fans. It's written by J. Michael Straczynski, and the guy's a genius, so I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Okay, so while he's looking for the price...
December 6th. So Babylon 5 Blu-ray remaster is coming out December 6th, and the Babylon 5 movie, the new film, is coming out this year, August 16th. I can't wait.
So while we discussed all of our fun tidbits and all the exciting parts, we're going to bring up the last subject of our stream and our to-do list.
Yeah.
That is the Xbox user interface, or the Xbox UI having
it's so beautiful.
revamped,
it's so great.
updated.
And you have to restart your Xbox because whenever you turn off your Xbox Series X, it doesn't really turn off. It stays on.
It's rest mode. It goes into rest mode like the PS5.
I don't know why they do that. I don't know why it just goes into rest mode. Maybe
Well,
it's because it's constantly.
ideally, it's because you want to keep it online so you can update all the stuff. The same thing with the PS5. You want to keep it on so it updates all the
Yeah,
stuff.
but the PS5, you have two options. You either put it in a rest mode or you turn it off. And when you turn it off, it turns off. And even when it's off, it's updating shit automatically.
No, but that's when it's in rest mode. When you turn it off completely, it doesn't do anything.
No, but it does. It can still
No,
update stuff. I've seen it do that. I've
done it. I'm not.
I've done it, and I've turned it on, and then it's completely it updates games while it's off for some reason. And but when you turn it off, it doesn't update its new software. You have to restart it or just update the software in the middle of you turning on the PS5. But anyways, I restarted the Xbox today, and when it came back on, the new UI, home screen UI was up there, and it looks great. It just looks fantastic.
So when I say when it comes to the UI for Xbox has been slowly making changes, positive, really good changes with the UI overall prior to the acquisition for ABK. However, with the ABK acquisition, the new UI looks phenomenally beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great. And also Game Pass and the store and everything is like at the top. It's all on the line.
Oh,
so it makes
God.
it easier to navigate and to find stuff. And when you go onto the games, it shows the game in the background, which is really, really cool. I love that, which you can already do on the PS5. And, yeah, it just looks great. But my problem with the Xbox is because the Xbox Series S keeps selling like hotcakes. They have to lower down the development of their games to work on the Series S. And that really pisses me off because the Series S is absolute shit. It's a terrible system, and it's hurting the game development of all games for the Xbox systems. And the PS5 has better performance. The games look better. The games run better because the SSD is more advanced because the PS5
SSD has nothing to do with it, to be honest.
It does because the PS5 is a more advanced system across the board, not just the physical one where you can put in discs, but the digital PS5 is just incredible. It's just a way better system. And I love the Series X, but that Series S is shit. And that is what's hurting the game development for all their games and all their studios. And that's why they're struggling. Baldur's Gate is going to be on the PS5 in September, which I'm going to pre-order for the PS5. It's going to be on the Series X, but because they're having development issues with the Series S, it's taking even longer for Baldur's Gate 3 to get on the Series X. And Phil Spencer, he's got to discontinue development on the Series S, to stop it and put everything into the Series X. It's the Series X is holding everything back, and it's ruining their fucking games.
How's the Series X holding things back?
Not the Series X.
You just said
the
X.
Series S.
Okay.
I said he needs to focus everything on the Series S and discontinue the Series S because the Series S is holding everything back. Just put everything into the Series X. The Series X is incredible. I know this because playing Elden Ring is great. Everything moves super fast. I could travel in seconds, anywhere in seconds, and play the game.
So I want to say if when it comes to computer experts, when it comes to those who build the computers, you can leave a comment down below about which is better, the PS5 with the SSD or the Xbox One X. Is it the SSD that's different? What is it exactly? I'm not really gonna delve into it too much. I don't care. My mistake was buying one console and buying the other console, and I should have just now get the consoles and bought the PC instead. Or excuse me, I should have bought the parts from the PC.
I love the PS5 and the Series X, and this whole PS being a PlayStation fanboy or an Xbox fanboy is totally stupid to me. We should want great games to get made. We should support great games to get made because if great games are being made, people are going to buy those games. Game sales are going to be great, and then more games will get made. Nobody wants to live in a world where games just don't get made anymore because of a huge economic crash because sales aren't what they used to be.
Well, anyways, because that's the overall conversation of our video today, our stream today. We want to thank you for joining
thank you
us.
so much. Thank you.
If you like this sort of content, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
Before we finish,
I
I got one more question. Have you seen Arcane yet?
No, believe it or not, I'm actually finally catching up to two of my lists. I finished one series, I'm finishing the second one, and then I get Arcane after this.
What's the next series you got to finish?
Well, no, the series I already finished was the
Mobile Suit Gundam?
No, not Mobile Suit Gundam. It was another one. Right now, I'm watching Records of Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
And then after Records of Ragnarok, I'm gonna watch Arcane, and then Mobile Suit Gundam.
Great, awesome. And Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury was a fantastic series. It ended so well, even though the last episode, the pacing was a little rushed. It was so beautiful. I loved it. It was great.
Oh boy, I have.
All right, but you need to watch Arcane, sir. You gotta get
I will. Let me finish watching Rex to Ragnarok.
All right, here we go.
I'm up to the
Gotta
part
go.
where Buddha's fighting with what's his name? Something.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you like our content, please leave a like,
and subscribe.
and hit that notification bell. Stay up to date about anything we upload or what we're discussing, whether it's a standalone video or it's a co-opted video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with us.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later.
Have a good one, guys.
Good night. Live long and prosper.
Take care.